Ladies and gentlemen, we've got another update regarding the potential Greenland acquisition by Donald Trump and the United States. Justin, Greenland's prime minister, has come out and said that he is ready to negotiate with Donald Trump about the future of the Arctic territory. Now, this reads like, okay, this is going to be happening, right? If we're going to start negotiations, it does seem like what I had said earlier in the week, that Greenland wanted independence from Denmark so they themselves could negotiate and demand things from the United States in exchange for a diplomatic takeover of Greenland. But with X, you kind of got to dig deeper. I mean, obviously, this does read like, okay, the negotiations are starting. The United States will be acquiring Greenland, but it does seem like it's a little bit different of a tune. You can see it says Greenland wants to be independent, not American or Danish, says the prime minister. But apparently they want to have some type of alliance with the United States and other NATO countries. And so understand the dynamic here. It seems like Greenland, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be independent from Denmark, but they also need to rely on, but if it's not going to be subsidies from Denmark, it's going to be subsidies from the United States, from other NATO countries, some type of agreement there. There's obviously going to have to be some type of cooperation with where Greenland is located, right within the entire NATO alliance, right next to the United States and Canada. So there is going to have to be cooperation there. And just Greenland itself, it's a very small country in terms of population. It's a lot smaller than a map will tell you. It's a distortion thing. And so it does seem like they're still sticking to the idea, and maybe there's a negotiation tactic that, no, we do not want, because again, you'll see this and it'll say, well, they're ready to negotiate, they're going to be joining the United States, and obviously Don Jr. going there saying all these people love Trump. It's propaganda to try and get Americans to look and say, well, Greenland, the people there, they want to be part of the United States and they love Trump. I'm sure some of them do like Trump. I'm not denying that, but it's just more of a propaganda type thing to visit Greenland and get American citizens on board with the acquisition. But even liberals now, the smart ones, the strategic ones, have come out and said, yeah, I admit it's a smart thing, and Trump's going to really, this is going to help his legacy. He's actually able to do this, acquiring Greenland, as Greenland gets more and more important in terms of a strategic location. Those shipping lanes, all the ice melting up there, not just in Greenland, but also in Canada. That's why Trump's talked about possibly doing something with Canada. I never thought Canada was realistic in terms of an annexation or even some type of acquisition. He wants to put some crazy tariffs on Canada to force them into submission so the United States can potentially take them over, but that doesn't really make sense. The dynamic there is weird with all of the people in Canada. It's like 70% don't, or really even 80%. The last poll I saw, don't want to be part of America. You could do things that could smooth it over and massage the transition, like giving them a very nice exchange rate for the Canadian dollar to the American dollar, which possibly would buy, Trump some points in terms of Canadians' approval rating of him. But that's a whole nother dynamic. When it comes to this situation, it does seem like Greenland is pushing for independence and then some type of relationship with NATO countries to where Greenland will allow the United States, and maybe it will just be the United States, maybe it won't be any of the other NATO countries, but it seems like they want more of an agreement rather than the United States owning it as a territory. Really, what it comes down to is, and if you're Trump, you do want the land as a territory, not as a state, but as a territory, so you can call it your own, so you can set up military bases. I'm sure Greenland in some type of agreement to where if the United States gave Greenland money, because someone's going to have to help them in some way if they want independence. I mean, this is not a situation to where, oh yeah, they're going to be fine independently. They've already got severe infrastructure problems with the money they're getting from Denmark. They're just getting like 1/3 of their GDP is coming from Denmark. And so it does make sense for them to have some type of relationship, whether it's with the United States or some other country in Europe, but it's very likely going to be the United States based on how rich we are, and also just with everything that's going on with Trump wanting to acquire them. It looks like their prime minister is saying, well, look, we still want to be independent, but we know we need money. We need things from the United States so we can work out a deal, some type of thing to where the U.S. gets military bases, gets to set up areas. I don't think that Trump's really going to want that. I'm guessing Trump is going to go for the takeover, and it's just a territorial takeover. It's not, I mean, the United States has Puerto Rico. Most people don't even, when you look at a map of America, they don't even look at Puerto Rico. So this isn't like a crazy, oh my goodness, what are you doing? This is expansionism. That's really not what this is. It's more so for natural resources, and also Greenland itself. It just makes total sense considering the weird relationship it has right now to where it's owned by Denmark, but Denmark doesn't have the money or capacity to really upgrade the infrastructure in Greenland for the citizens there. Also, the fact that there's only 50,000 people there, it's not a big deal in terms of transitioning from being a Danish territory to an American one. There's so much that makes sense about Greenland, with it becoming more important, with the location of it as well for the United States, with all of the shipping lanes up there in the Arctic. It all comes together for the United States to acquire Greenland. So this reads like, well, the negotiation is starting and Trump's going to do this for sure. But they're still, maybe this is negotiation leverage, I don't know. They're still trying to say, no, 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 we want to be independent from Denmark, but we still want to just independence overall, but we need stuff and we need money from possibly the United States or European countries, but it's probably going to be the United States based off of Trump wanting involvement in Greenland and wanting that territory. So maybe this is also part of a negotiation thing, but if they do become independent from Denmark, I think it's going to be a lot easier for Trump to negotiate some type of territory. And again, it's like there's 50,000 people there. They're already, this whole idea that, oh, we love our independence. I mean, if this was an independent country for like, 200 years, you could do the whole guilt thing where you're like, oh, this is terrible. What is Trump doing? Even if it's a territory, these are people, this is an independent country. That's not this situation. They are already owned by Denmark. So that's what makes it even easier, even while you're walking on eggshells here in 2020, 2025, with everything that's going on with all the nuclear bombs and everything like that, to where you really can't demand territory. This is a situation where it's come up now, and Trump was the one that really brought it to the forefront back in 2018, 2019. They said, no, it's a joke. Remember, that was when Denmark said, they spoke for Greenland. They said, this is not happening. You're disgusting. How dare you? And people didn't even talk about it. But it's like, they already have a weird relationship as it is. Denmark is speaking for Greenland. Why is that? But that was back in like 2018, 2019. Then, I mean, I said in the summer, I think Trump's going to acquire Greenland and probably the Bahamas and maybe Bermuda as well. But I said that was going to happen in the summer. And then there's all these people that hate Trump, but they're conservative. They're like, well, we didn't ask for this. Well, actually, I did ask for it. I did ask for it. In the summer, I said a video that Trump should buy Greenland. And there's all these conservatives, like their personality trait to hate Trump. Look, there's problems with Trump I've criticized him, I agree. But it's like, no, we didn't ask for this. We asked for deportations. Yeah, we're going to get the deportations. But no, I did ask for this. I said Trump should buy Greenland in the summer. And Trump said he's going to do it anyways back in 2019. So this makes total sense. And I just think it's a situation where Greenland wants to have their cake and eat it too. It's not going to happen. You're going to get protection from the United States. This is not a crazy takeover or anything like that. We're going to upgrade your infrastructure. We need to control the territory because we need to mine the natural resources out of Greenland. And we're also going to give you some of the natural resources, and we're going to upgrade your economy as well. We've got a lot of money. And so it makes total sense. It is based off of their territorial location, based off of their population, based off of their current relationship, based off the fact that they don't want to be owned by Denmark anymore. Remember, Denmark spoke for them in 2019. Now they're saying, no, screw Denmark. We're done with them, because Denmark tried to do the false bravada again, where it's like, it's what these small countries do when they get questions, like what Panama did. They clutched their pearls. They're like, how dare you? You're horrible. Because that's really all they can do is posture. Understand that. That's what they'll always do immediately when they get threatened by something. But Trump, the relationship isn't even good. Denmark really has zero legs to stand on. They should just try and get money for this, honestly. If I was Denmark, I would try and keep the territory and then just sell it to the United States, which originally is what I thought was going to happen. But maybe now, this might be like a multi-year process, but Greenland becomes independent, and then the United States negotiates with Greenland and does a diplomatic acquisition of Greenland. And the negotiation, we're not going to be giving up much, because we're going to be offering them infrastructure upgrades, and maybe that's part of the negotiation, along with military protection, the strongest military in the world by far, times 100. So that would be my analysis. This reads like, oh, he looks like Greenland's ready to negotiate. They're ready to sell to the United States. They want to do it themselves. But no, they're still doing the false bravado, like, no, we want to be independent. Well, you haven't been independent. You've been owned by Denmark. You've already got a strange relationship as it is. That area is becoming more and more powerful. You don't have the means. You don't have the technology. You don't have the resources available to be able to extract as that area gets more and more meaningful. with potentially it getting warmer and warmer, you're going to need that protection as well. So I would imagine this is going to go through. Trump will be acquiring Greenland, especially if Greenland becomes independent, but this could be a multi-year process because they would have to become independent. Or Trump could just buy it from Denmark. It just depends, the whole dynamic there. My guess is Greenland would want to be independent from Denmark so then they could negotiate with the United States directly rather than Denmark getting anything. At that point, Denmark would just lose and I mean, they'd be done. I mean, if Greenland becomes independent, I mean, maybe Greenland would have to negotiate with Denmark, but I just don't know what Greenland could give Denmark at this point. So that would be my current take on this, and we'll have to see. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.